What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about the Jasper Wildfire. So this is something going on in Alberta that most Americans here don't even know about. But I learned a little bit about this myself earlier in the week during the Canadian news video that I did, and I just really thought that this deserved more attention. So this wildfire appears to be a lot more substantial than I thought. And I already thought this was bad news, but I don't think I even realized how bad this was. So today I just want to check out a couple of videos covering this wildfire in Jasper and hopefully get some updates as well now that a couple more days have passed. So let's take a look. This is how the first 72 hours unfolded of the Jasper wildfire. I am curious, do they know how this even started? Does it even matter how it started? I know wildfires can be caused by various sources. It really just matters, the devastation that's going on and how Canadians are dealing with this and trying to manage the situation. And I'm hoping to hear more about that as well.
Crews are still working to put out fires that have already destroyed significant parts of Jasper, Alberta.
Oh my God. See, earlier in the week, I just read about this a little bit. I saw some pictures. It's different seeing video. This is absolutely terrifying.
Here's Mom and Dad's house.
Here's how the last few days got us here. It changed quickly Monday night. Strong winds pushed fires from the outskirts of Jasper to within a few kilometers of town.
What on earth? I don't even know what they're saying right now. I am just so, taken aback by the images I'm seeing. Truly. That is insane. Wildfires are absolutely crazy. How big this is, how much smoke, the devastation. I mean, we've seen a clip already of someone saying about their parents' house burned down,
Strong winds pushed fires from the outskirts of Jasper to within a few kilometers of town.
It's 11:24 Mountain Time. The town of Jasper and the national park now under an evacuation order.
We're just kind of relaxing, and then we heard some sirens at about 6 o'clock. And you don't hear sirens too often in Jasper.
So, Jasper. Forgive me, but I just want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Jasper is a town or city that is in or by Jasper National Park, located in Alberta. I think I'm correct about that, or perhaps Jasper is more of an area, but nonetheless, they started hearing sirens. They were getting warnings. I mean, that's good. That's good. That means that a system is in place to make sure people are aware that the worst is happening, that they have to get up and leave their home. So it's both terrible and a good thing that they had this warning system.
Always tell you to be prepared for this stuff. This wasn't a dress rehearsal.
About 25,000 people made their way out of town and the national park.
I'm sorry, did they say 25,000 people?
About 25,000 people made their way out of town and the national park.
See, I didn't. So it is a town and a national park. That's good. They clarify that for me. 25,000 people. See, I had no idea it was affecting that many people. Thousands and thousands of people having to leave their homes, not knowing if it's going to get burnt to the ground, for lack of a better word, right? All your possessions, maybe you've spent your whole life saving up for this home, and I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine.
Last night it got really, really bad. And then the ash just started falling from the sky because we were right in Jasper. It was just crazy, the traffic. It was really hard to get out of there.
By early
It's hard to get out. There's so many people trying to get out. ashes falling from the sky? Like, I'm in a privileged position that I don't know what that's like. I can't even imagine that that's real. Sounds like a movie to me, but it is very much reality for the people of Jasper. Ashes falling from the sky, and everything around you burning. Like it's a living nightmare, honestly.
Tuesday morning, Highway 16, the only open road out of town, was jammed.
There was bumper-to-bumper traffic, and they were only moving about 10 kilometers per a couple hours.
Wow.
There isn't a campground between here and Calgary right now that has any availability.
Well, in Jasper
Wow.
and the national park,
That's a good point. That's a great point. I didn't even think about. Where are you supposed to go? You're leaving your home. And 25,000 other people are. Where the heck are you supposed to go?
things only got worse.
One of Canada's most iconic natural and cultural landscapes is on fire.
There are currently multiple wildfires burning within Jasper National Park.
Right, we haven't even touched on this topic yet. There's so much. I'm thinking of the human life and human lives being ruined. But, you know, Canada is losing like a super historical geographic point of national pride, Jasper National Park. That can't be understated either. Like the loss there of all the forest and whatnot.
This is a dynamic and evolving situation.
Tuesday afternoon, the wildfire south of the town had burned more than 6,000 hectares. By evening, Jasper had been fully evacuated.
Wow.
Authorities say only about 40 people refused to leave.
Police are actively going house to house.
Oh, wow. Wow. There's actually 40 people who wouldn't leave. You know, I get it, but, you know, it's your home, but it's also your life. Like, your life is important. So, man, some people wouldn't leave. That's insane. But again, not that they're well, I was going to say not that they're insane. You probably have to be a little strange to stay in your living room while the literal town is burning down. But I get it. Jokes aside, I do get it. Like, it's your home. Like, leaving it, I could see where that would be an emotional battle to leave your home, knowing it could get destroyed. Like, everything inside of you is fighting against that.
2 apartments, speaking with these people and encouraging them to leave.
On Wednesday, things didn't let up.
We're going to have strong winds continuing, and we expect that this will increase our fire growth on all flanks.
Authorities say conditions made it nearly impossible to fight the fires.
Wow.
Water bombers were grounded because flying conditions were too dangerous, and heavy equipment had to be pulled for safety reasons.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. So Canada, I think, has developed lots of ways to respond to these wildfires. These have been happening. Like, I remember reacting to Canadian wildfires like last year when that was big news. So Canada has ways to respond to this, but you're not even able to use those right now. The water, the helicopters or airplanes that throw water on the fire and the machines, and you're not even able to use that stuff to stop this, which is really puts you in a helpless feeling position, I imagine.
Within 48 hours of its first report Monday night, fire reached the border of Jasper at about 7 p.m. Wednesday evening.
Wow.
Then, as the air quality got even worse, Parks Canada pulled its first responders from the front lines to keep them safe.
Wow.
Some of the firefighters...
Wow, it got so bad, and the smoke, you can't even see. Everyone's just getting pulled out of Jasper. Sadly, the reality is, like, maybe the fire just has to do what it does and go out on its own. Is that really what we're dealing with here? That's very, very sad, to say the least.
In the park observed flames 400 feet high.
By Thursday morning, much of the town
What?
had suffered serious damage.
Oh
For many generations, the town of Jasper and the park surrounding it have been a source of pride.
Yeah.
with some of the most beautiful scenery in the world.
Including...
Yeah, she's obviously having a lot of trouble even saying the words that Jasper has been destroyed. And I don't blame her. But yeah, there's the destruction of nature and, of course, the destruction of Canadians' homes as well.
Buildings like the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge and the Jasper Anglican Church. Just how extensive that damage is still...
Really? Like literally the lodge where you like stay when you're visiting Jasper, I think? Like that's all been burned. Unbelievable. Let's go here, keep going here. I got some more video. Jasper's wildfire damage and the fight to save community.
Driving in from the east, Jasper seems normal at first, untouched by fire.
Yeah.
Until it isn't. This church is where fire crews turned flames away, saving 70% of the town, while the...
No kidding! So they did actually have firefighters out there at some point fighting the fire, and they actually saved parts of Jasper. Wow! Okay. Finally, some, like, good news, or at least I hope this is still okay. This video, some of this news is outdated. Even by the time you see this video, this will be a little outdated. So, yeah, I hope this is true, that they did get to save some of Jasper.
The rest, shown in red, was destroyed. Firefighters saved what they could and let go of what they couldn't.
Right. I was out as well, too, as an extra set of eyes, just looking out for more hotspots. And on my patrol, I noticed that the flames had spread to my house. It would have been easy to ask for crews to come in and extinguish, but at that point, fire damage was pretty significant. We had multiple structure fires going on in the area, and it was just unsafe for crews to be working in.
A third of the town is destroyed.
Oh my God, did he just say that his own house was burning down, but he basically had to determine it was not savable and not even bother to call in the fire trucks for his own home?
Only skeletons of buildings are left. Most of the damage is on the southwest side. Firefighters used this street, Mayette Avenue, as a fire break, especially to protect critical infrastructure, like the fire hall and the hospital.
Yeah, it's so strange to look at this, because some parts, like this, are burned to the ground, literally, and other parts, like this, are totally fine. So the fire literally burned parts of Jasper, and they were really able to save other parts, which is good.
The air is still pretty unsafe here in Jasper. I'm wearing a mask. They just don't know what kind of chemicals burned and are in the air. A gas station burned way over here behind me, and look just how close the fire came from one side of the street to the other.
Yeah, exactly. That's so weird to look at. Like, what pile of burnt metal versus fine, totally fine street. I can't speak. Oh. Well, again, they were clearly able to save parts of Jasper, which is very good. I actually had assumed the worst. That, like, in my mind, if there's a raging wildfire coming through, it destroys everything. But, see, I'm glad that I'm getting updates here today, because this is at least a little bit of a bright point in an otherwise very, very dark time in Jasper.
On the main drag, embers chose what did and did not survive. Crews bulldozed a burning liquor store, subway, and bike shop to save the neighboring businesses.
Wow.
A lot of cleanup still to come.
Yeah.
Are residents going to see this when they come back?
This looks like an apocalypse, literally. Like, I'm not even joking. This looks like the apocalypse game. Like, cars burnt down to their frame. And yeah, not to mention the cleanup. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think this is all pretty much over because they're walking around Jasper now, looking at everything. But now that the fire's kind of gone down, now they're talking about the cleanup and the chemicals in the air and all. Oh, no.
My understanding is that some areas will be fenced off. Debris removal is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
To make it safe for people to circulate is one thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I imagine if this is fenced off, people might see that, indeed.
But residents won't return anytime soon. While crews have extinguished hot spots in Jasper, the fire is still burning on the north, south, and east sides of town.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. The fire is still burning. The fire is still I kind of want them to show that. The fire is still actively going on 3 other sides of the town? Like right now?
Parks Canada says they still have to do a thorough damage check on campgrounds, trails, and park infrastructure. Their largest campground, Whistler, is partly damaged, but mostly intact.
The difficulty has been, first of all, just the wildfire itself and the resources required to deal with the wildfire, and then also smoke, and then now what's making it a bit difficult is just the number of downed trees. So our priority has been to open up some of the roads to places like Marmot Basin, Whistler Skytram, the Parkway.
Smoke still pours from the Rockies.
Yeah, look at that. Yes, smoke still coming from the trees. All the trees that have fallen down, fire is actively still going. Like, this is still... I was really hoping, this is a few days now after all this has happened. I was kind of hoping this was starting to come to an end, and I'm actually not convinced that that is true.
But they survived, still standing guard in one of Canada's most beloved national parks.
Sam, I'm curious about your impressions as you had that brief tour.
Well, to me, it really stood out just how erratic fire can be and how in the moment firefighters really do have to use whatever they can as a fire break. And also when you're standing...
Yeah, I think they were saying they even had to bulldoze some of the structures, houses down, just to try to save others. And okay, real quick, let's take a look at this video, which is only a day old, so probably the most recent. And it says, wildfire in Jasper, there are concerns wildfire may pick up again. Which I don't even, I don't want to hear that, but we have to, for the sake of, being informed, we must.
Good evening. With temperatures expected to rise, there are concerns the wildfire burning in Jasper National Park could pick up again this weekend. It's been extinguished in the town site, but continues to burn out of control to the south. It's keeping visitors out of the park for the foreseeable future, and vital highways closed. Crews are working.
It's burning to the south. It seems to be under control in the town of Jasper, which is great, although they said that the residents of the area are not coming back anytime soon. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they're getting help or aid or something. Maybe the Canadian government is helping people find places to live. I don't know. Really, really tough, sad situation. Even sadder to hear that there's concerns the wildfire could come back. It's still burning in the south. Okay.
Out of the park for the foreseeable future, and vital highways closed. Crews are working on extinguishing fires adjacent to the town, including in the Pyramid Bench area and on hotspots around Jasper Park Lodge and Lake Edith. A fire guard is also being built between Pyramid Lake and Highway 16.
A fire guard. See, this is the stuff I don't really know how you fight a wildfire. They're trying to keep the fire away from the town. They're putting up a fire guard. I don't know if that's like some kind of wall or barrier that stops fire, or I don't know.
Highway 16 is still closed, but plans are in the works for when it does reopen. Work is also being done on plans to move evacuees from the Valemont area through the park to Hinton. While they wait, the Red Cross will start giving out a one-time $750 payment to Jasper households tomorrow. And with these many resources focused on Jasper, Alberta Wildfire is asking people to be thoughtful and responsible this long weekend.
Huh. So this answered a few of my questions. Like, they're going to be giving some kind of money, like $700 to the residents of Jasper. Is that like a month or one time, or because it sounds like people are going to need a place to live, and the town of Jasper is still under threat from fire, and the fire could return this weekend. So I guess all of this is kind of based on the fact that it is summer, very, very hot summer. I think that's when wildfires kind of are at their most threatening. And you got like the zombie wildfires that wildfires can stop and then the embers can reignite and all this crazy stuff. But basically, I just wanted to take some time today to get really informed about the Jasper wildfire. Again, I read a little bit about it. I didn't realize how freaking bad this actually was, and seeing some of this video really filled that in for me. I hope the people affected by this are getting help and their spirits can remain raised, you know. It's insane to think what losing your home and being driven out of your home could do to you. And I don't know, hopefully that those people have their friends and family and places to take care of them. And, you know, in due time, maybe return to Jasper, rebuild things, look towards the future, not the past, all that stuff. That's easy for me to say. I didn't get my home burned down, so I don't know. Not the greatest news, to honestly, to leave off on, that this is still kind of ongoing. But it was good to kind of get informed about this whole situation, especially as an American, where you better believe, like, we're not talking about this here. People don't know about this. Like, this isn't in our news. Like, I didn't know what was going on. So I think this was good for me as well. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on the Jasper wildfire, especially as a Canadian. That'd be very, very interesting to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.